kind of interesting. Mina Kimes, ESPN, talking about how the Browns offense could evolve this year relative to what it looked like last year.
Watson looked rusty. There's things he obviously has to do better, accuracy, confidence, all of that. But I also think that the offense needs to evolve to accommodate and I would say amplify his skill set. So Kevin Stefanski's scheme prior to Watson arriving and based on the lineage he comes from is that under center, wide zone, run game, play action off of that. Watching Watson, his starts last year, didn't look comfortable under center. And I wouldn't be surprised this year if they tilt more towards putting him in the gun, pistol, spreading things out, getting him in empty more often, trying to recreate a lot of the magic we saw in Houston. Now, my one concern about that was, well, this run game has been so dominant with Nick Chubb, with the prior scheme. But I went and looked to see how Nick Chubb has done running out of the gun, and folks, still dominant last year. First in yards per carry, first in rushes over expectation per carry, third in EPA. Nick Chubb is good at everything. Little surprise there. So I think they can make adjustments to make the offense better for Watson without sacrificing any of what Nick Chubb does really well.
And I think that's key. People are all concerned. The problem that Nick Chubb had running out of the gun or pistol last year was they weren't set up to block that way because they didn't do it with Jacoby Brissett. They're going to have enough time to put that in place. Nick Chubb's still going to be Nick Chubb. He might even be better because there's going to be fewer people in the box.
Well, and there's also this, and this is the one thing Mina didn't really get to is this is an opportunity. And look, you still want to limit the amount of carries you give Nick. If this team is going to hope to achieve what they want to, which is an extended January run, possibly into a February run, you're still going to need Nick Chubb with some gas in the tank at that point. So to think he's going to get 300 carries in the first 17 games is probably, a little bit ridiculous. But what you can do is start to use Nick a little bit more as a receiver. We've seen at times where he can do it, and he's certainly improved in his time over the league. Problem is he always carried such a heavy workload running the ball that most of the time when it came time to throw it, you took him off the field. If you're going to go gun more, which means, and like Mina said, empty, all right, so you have 4 wide or whatever, Nick Chubb can motion out, go man, post up at a slot. Hopefully you can get him on a linebacker or a safety, and you get some choice routes going in or out, or a Texas route going outside diagonally in between the hashes. And, it'll limit the amount of big hits Nick Chubb would take. And it's just another way to get the ball in his hands. Like I said, there's a lot of skill players on this team now. It is a lot deeper than it has ever been. We all got excited and want to talk so much about the Beckham Landry wide receiver core. This one's going to be just crazy better. There's just no other way to put it. And so when you got to put all that attention to all that stuff, when you have chances where you can get Nick Chubb one-on-one with a safety or a linebacker, I think he's going to win a lot of those opportunities. And again, it's just going to benefit him in the long run. So, games later in the season where you have to rely on him to close out the game by running the ball, or you've got to find a way to manufacture, you got to find a way to figure out 45 other carries through some playoff games where you're going to use them. That might be the best way to, make sure that Nick Chubb can give you the best bang for the buck from September, hopefully all the way through February.